In this example, we're looking at capital projects and governmental-wide activities journal for unrelated transactions. So these transactions are not related to each other. We're just going to be looking at examples of different transactions on how they would get recorded in the capital projects fund and the governmental activities. So transaction one, we have a town secures a note payable in the amount of $150,000 to pay initial expenses for construction of a police station. They plan to repay this note within 3 months with tax revenues and issue of a construction bond. Okay, so transaction one. First, we're going to have our capital projects fund, and we're going to receive cash. We have a notes payable, and then let's put our debit and credit. And our governmental activities. Here we have cash and notes payable. Transaction two, a county secures a bond anticipation note in the amount of $500,000 to pay initial expenses for construction of a convention center. The Board of County Commissioners recommended that the Finance Department refinance the bond anticipation note by issuing a construction bond. Okay, so two, we have this bond anticipation note. So in our capital projects fund, we're going to receive cash, and then we have other financing sources, bond anticipation note. And under governmental activities, we have received cash, and then we have bond anticipation note payable. Transaction three. Due to an unexpected change in interest rates, a village issued a $2.5 million bond at 98% of par value. The bond is issued to construct a bike path, restrooms, and picnic shelters. It's expected that the shortage will be covered by a future transfer from another fund. So transaction three. Our bonds sold at a discount, so we didn't receive as much cash as we anticipated. So we're going to get an interfund transfer from another department at a later time. And then in the governmental activities fund, we receive cash. And we have a discount on bonds payable and bonds payable. Okay, transaction 4. The city issued a $5 million bond at 101 to fund construction of a city hall addition. The premium is directly deposited into the debt service fund. So we have that 1% premium. So transaction 5, we have a capital projects fund. We've received cash of $5 million. And then other financing sources, bonds, or proceeds of bonds for $5 million. In the governmental activities, we record the receipt of cash, bonds payable, and the premium on the bond. That's transaction 4. And transaction 5, a borough sold $4 million of 6% construction-related bonds dated January 1st on March 1st. The construction is related to governmental activities. So we have 5 in our capital projects fund. We're going to receive cash of $4 million. And then we have other financing sources, proceeds of bonds, and in the governmental activities, we're going to have cash of $4,040,000. Bonds payable of $4 million, and then accrued interest payable of $40,000 for the fact that the bonds had 2 months of accrued interest at the time of sale. In the next example, we're going to look at a capital fund that is set up for multiple projects.